stuff I've already recorded previously on my old channel before. Yeah, you know what happened. But I'm gonna talk about just briefly because I remember this one got quite a lot of views. But I think it was around the notion of space travel being fake, and it's impossible. Really, it's an impossibility. There are thousands of people. This is how asleep people are. They watch a screen just like they'll watch a movie, and NASA will give them some video footage, which is not even perfect, is doctored in many ways, and they take that as truth, but they'll watch a movie and take that as false, even though it can be the same production, just like the moon landing, and there's evidence to support that it was a production, but I digress. The actual point of why it's impossible, apart from the fact that, like if you look at the moon landing stuff alone gives it away. It gives it away quite extensively. If you want to, there's a really good documentary called Wagging the Moon Doggy by Bart Sibrel. It's very good if you want to delve into that and see the government cover-ups there. That's cool. What you gotta realize is the government, i.e., all these astronauts and stuff, they're actors. It's a game, like they're working for the screen. Yeah, that's their job. Okay, so they're here to bamboozle you, and they're like the entertainers if you go to like a circus, right? So you can't fault them for it. It's not their fault. It's their job. But if you look at certain things like even the fact that, they'll send a tin can, with a camera that was launched in 1960, 1970, and then we're here in 2020, the 2020s, and then they say, oh yeah, Cassini sent back some pictures. Cassini, left in the 70s or 80s or 60s, whatever, right? That's over 60 years. That's like more than 60 something years, 50 something years. Some of these satellites have been launched, right? So it stands to reason to assume quite solidly that the cameras made 60 years ago and the cameras we have now are quite different in operation, abilities, limitations, etc., etc., etc. Now, that in itself is a giveaway, because it's like, how has a 60-year-old camera survived this long anyway with no power supply? Oh, somehow it was integrated with the thing and is working off solar panels and stuff. Okay, fine, you can have it or whatever. Nobody cares. The actual point is, how is it sending it back? It's 70, 60, 50, let's be generous and say it's 40 years away. Yeah, 40 years away, traveling at breakneck speed, right? So how is it sending it back to us? If it's by radio signal, right? Bear in mind that the Earth is moving around the sun on its axis. It's spinning on its axis anyway and moving around the sun. So by the time you've gotten 40 years away, right? There is no, how do you even, where do you even send the signal to? Like, because a lot of these radio signals have to be directional. You have to have line of sight, or you have to be able to be in a position to receive the signal, right? If space hasn't got no up or down, left or right, or no orientation, Cassini could be heading down. Let me give you an example. Or it could be going up in space. We, in our Milky Way galaxy, which surprisingly is always layered as flat, right? Or on some sort of like plane, level plane, right? So it could be going up, it could be going down, right? And it's 40 years away from us. So now if that spacecraft is, let's say, parallel relative to the plane of the Milky Way, right? And it's 40 years away, or it's even upside down or whatever. How do we receive the signal here? And furthermore, we could be behind the sun by the time this. So and with the sun being in the way, the signal's not getting here. It's a nonsense. So that alone just it's not possible. And when it gets here, how do we process it? How are we receiving that signal and processing that image into that HD image that they've got? So clearly it's been doctored. It's not real. It's not real. It literally is not real. It cannot be real. It literally cannot be real. There's so many different examples I can make, but I just thought about this one. So yeah, I'll do some more later on anyway.